Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
How are you?
Did they like our advertisement last week with the Men's Health and the clean drain, or how did that?
I think they did. Yeah, they did. They liked that. They reached out.
We were talking about Wiggy's drain. Or something?
Yeah. They actually reached out. They wanted to know if you need any help.
No, I don't.
No, everything's okay. Listen, I'll tell you who doesn't need any help, and that is your Buckeyes. Nice win over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a slow game. I thought the fourth quarter brought some action, but. We'll see how it goes. I watched a little bit of it and go from there.
You played against an overrated Manning at one point in your career, so you can relate.
Well done.
I was here.
Social media is a brutal place, and it never misses.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, some of the stuff is just.
Do you look at any of that?
I mean, it's hard not to. It's hard not to see some of the references and just, people send them, and then it's just like just one thing after another, and it's just like you didn't think it could get any better, and then it does, and it's just.
It's first 30 seconds of his day.
Fun.
Yeah.
First 30 seconds of your day is looking at social media. That's what you said.
Get the news.
Yeah. But it was the new Manning face. It was this all the rage, You created the old one, now there's another one.
It was there were some good ones.
Yeah. I was here Wednesday night for the kickoff, and you talked about this team's identity. In fact, you said that we should all ask any of the players that were there on Wednesday night, and they ought to be able to tell us what the identity is. What is, in your mind, the identity is football?
Well, again, we can talk about it again, and I've heard and learned that I see better than I hear, and so our identity is going to have to be what we put on tape. But ideally, what we would like is our play style, our play demeanor, the how hard we play. I mean, I think it certainly starts there. We have to, be smart with the football. We have to have guys that take the football away. I think that looking for opportunities to do that, finding ways to tip passes that get intercepted, finding ways to hit guys hard enough to knock the ball loose. We need guys that are willing to protect the guy with the ball. And I think that you're going to see that, and hopefully that we get the right guys that care about, if we throw it to Wiggy, we all need to go and protect him. There's one football, there's 5 guys that are eligible. The quarterback decides who to throw to. Everybody else has to just go and finish. We would love to play with great fundamentals, understand the details of the play, and make great decisions, that don't cost the team. And I get penalties happen. Penalties are going to occur. But I think the things that when it's a decision making, is it full body weight on the quarterback? Is it a blind side hit, or do I high screen on a punt return? Defenseless receiver, being the second guy in. All these things where I feel like that's a decision. That's a conscious decision. Hopefully we're making great decisions, and that we can take advantage of bad football.
When you look at the actual scheme, Mike, you come from obviously Tennessee where you ran the ball first and then you try to play good defense. Are you going to be a week-to-week game plan type of team, or are you going to say we want to try to run the ball first and play great defense, or is that just going to change based on who your opponent is?
Well, I mean, I think it changes based on who your opponent is. I think our best player in Tennessee for most of those years was our running back. And so I think you do what your teams are equipped for and have the ability to adjust. And, I thought that when we had to throw the ball and we threw it on our terms, and you let plays marry and partner with each other and build, that there's complementary plays. I would think that hopefully the majority of our first and second down offense, if you're talking offensively, you have to be able to run the football. You have to be able to marry those passes up. You have to be able to throw some screens to guys. It's hard to live in a drop-back passing game in this league. I just think that to do that is play in and play out is hard. And so you don't want to end up living in that game. There's times where the game dictates that you'll have to, but, we always want to be balanced and do what the defense, will allow us to do on our terms.
When it comes to Drake, he's made a point to say that throughout the preseason, he's felt like he's been a bit jittery right off the jump, and he needs to control that so that he makes less mistakes. What have you, as his head coach, seen him do to prepare for week 1 to be better at that?
Well, I think it's about just his preparation to not the preparation of the game or the game plan, is just, making sure that he's in a place that he's comfortable when the game starts. And again, I want them all to be excited. We are going to need energy and passion and enthusiasm, but that can't override our job. And so making sure that that we get into drives and we try to structure practice the same way we would with the games, and try to focus on that and how we start the game and the break and trying to finish strong and win the second half.
I know you talked a little bit about Jabril Peppers yesterday, said it wasn't a scheme thing. Looking at it from the uneducated outside, which is where I sit, I know there's, in some areas not necessarily a lot of depth on this team. How difficult is it to make a decision like that to release a guy who looks like somebody, who should be on this 53-man roster?
Yeah, those are always tough. I mean, those are always tough. They're difficult. We're trying to do what's best for the team, and again, we try to make decisions that we feel like are going to help us in the long term, in the short term, and those are difficult. I had a personal relationship with Jabril. I loved getting to know him and coach him, and we're just trying to get it right and obviously understand where we are from the youth and the veterans that we have in the position room. And how it was and how it sat.
Mike, the roster turnover, I think it's about 50% from last year. And it feels like it has been a point of emphasis to get new leaders. I think all the captains are new. 2 of the 6 captains, I believe, are people that were brought in this offseason. How much of your approach to this year was predicated upon making sure that the leaders that were 4 and 13 the last 2 years were not the leaders this year?
And somebody asked me that yesterday, and I've never, and I don't think anybody else has been intentional on that or with that. And I can see, that's kind of how things go when there's change and there's turnover, and some of those players were free agents. Some of those players we moved on from, in the off season. Some of them have been currently, but that was never anyone's intent. We're just trying to build the position groups and build the team and try to figure out what we need. And, leadership, I think, will always continue to grow and evolve. And I hope that we have many more leaders than just the 6 that were named captain.
And on that, Steph Diggs was one that a lot of people were surprised was not named a captain, given that we had heard he'd been leading the receiving group. Were you surprised that the players didn't vote for Steph Diggs?
With this league, I don't think I ever try to use the word surprised. I think, Steph got votes. And again, we just try to look at where the voting came out and recognize how the players voted.
Mike, one of the things as a Pats fan, I woke up, can't remember when it was, and I said, damn, Micah Parsons is in Green Bay. Were you guys in on him?
We continue to have conversations about all players that are available. Mike, I think you love saying Micah Parsons.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I would have loved to have seen that. The first jersey I would have got out.
No Vrabel jersey. Do
I
you
do
have
have a
any
Vrabel
jersey?
jersey.
Do you have jerseys?
I do have a Vrabel jersey.
When he
And
says
again, he's a
sign
dynamic
it.
player, great player. We weren't. That wasn't something that we really invested a lot of time or resources in. I think when you just try to look at what we feel like is best for us right now, that wasn't entertaining that specific transaction.
Interesting.
Well, it's
generational. My guy Shime would say generational player that you get at a bargain,
yeah,
a bargain price.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe bargain price. It just I think we just have to be very smart on building this thing, and I hope that everybody else sees it the same way outside of here. And we want to bring in players that feel like give us the best chance, but also, we have to build some depth here to this roster, and you do that from the draft. And just it hasn't been, we'll call it what it is. It hasn't been real great. The depth of the roster has not been through our draft the last handful of years, and that has to change. We all know that. So we'll focus on that when we get there in April. Right now it's, putting guys in roles that have some versatility and building the game day roster and all these different things. But I think the best teams in the league draft well. They develop their players, they re-sign them, and then they carefully choose the players that they want to add in free agency.
Could you say that the drafts that being bad the last several years precluded you from trading first-round picks because you need those?
No. I was just saying that when we build this thing and moving forward, we want to build it and make sure that we're building through the draft. And then again, like I said, retaining the players that we feel like have developed and have earned contracts. And, while Micah Parsons is a great player, probably wasn't the best fit or the right time, I think, for us.
You added Tommy Cutlets to the roster. Did you have to negotiate with Sean Stellato or?
I didn't.
Okay.
No. And when you claim somebody, you don't have to negotiate with them.
All right, so you didn't have to talk to him.
You just grab their hair and drag them.
So you don't have to really interact with him.
Big St. Anthony.
Yeah, he was
St.
at the
Anthony's
feast. Yeah, he was
feast.
out there
Yeah.
at the feast.
He was everywhere.
Why
The
not?
Sean Stellato. I guess it's like Christmas Day for Sean. How you doing?
He's gonna go do a lot of talks at St. John's Prep.
How you
Probably.
doing?
Yeah. Back to Steph Diggs. Last week we talked to you about him. You said you expect him to contribute to this team a lot. Now that it's game week, he's still on track to be able to go week one and be good?
Yep. I would imagine that as of today, he'll be out there.
Great. What's the update on Gonzalez? And I know he didn't practice yesterday.
He didn't practice yesterday. That's the only update I can give you. I haven't seen anything from I haven't met with the trainers. I got to see you guys before, and then I'll see
but that's injury,
the trainers.
That's injury related. People look at a young player sometimes and wonder, hey, is there some kind of quiet hold?
Oh, no. I mean, I said he's working hard to come back, and when he's ready to get back out and practice, hopefully that's this week, and then we can decide and go from there.
Mike, you look at Will Campbell, first game of the season. I think you, better than anybody, can give him the advice he needs, especially to see a guy like Max Crosby and maybe some of the techniques and some of the, veteran kind of tips that you might be able to give him to help with a guy like that. What are you saying to Will about this matchup?
Well, it's going to be with all of them, and then Max can line up wherever he wants, and or they can put him wherever they want. So I think it has to be for everybody blocking him. He has a certain play style, and I think if you drop your head, he's going to jump around, and if you're over aggressive, he's going to, try to make you miss. I think just a certain play style of just making sure we're not overextended to where. Again, he has a very unique play style where he'll jab and jump around, and he uses his length and athleticism as opposed to, let's say, maybe more of a power player. Not that he can't do that, but again, he makes his money with instinctiveness and jumping under. If you overreach him, he's coming under and he's getting in the backfield.
Do you tell him be patient? Then
well,
with a guy
it's
like
just
that?
making sure that you can't sit there and wait. You have to, if in a run game, you have to go and get on him, but you have to make sure that you're not out of control and that your head's up and your eyes are up and that you're able to redirect and again not be overly aggressive when you're trying to block players like that. And again, it'll change based on who the player is and who you're going against, but that would be Max's skill set.
Did you watch the UNC TCU game last night?
Probably maybe a few snaps. That's all the.
You saw the best part.
First half.
Maybe
just into the first half.
First drive was first drive was
Thing of
fire.
beauty.
Yeah, it was a thing of beauty.
If they would have ended the game after the first drive, would have been good.
You seem to be excited about that.
No. I listen. I'm rooting for the guy, and I think I mean, you coached in college. It takes a while, don't you think, to get a program going? Come in there like that.
I don't know. Urban Meyer won 12 of his first 12 games at Ohio State, so it didn't take him long. That's my experience in college football.
All right, okay.
No.
But so we have the comp.
But isn't it like because you?
I mean, I think I can only imagine the landscape of college football now, and the, hey, who are you? Oh, I just came from wherever, and
Right.
I'm sure it's probably not as easy outside of the top few programs.
Right. Ohio State guys have to take a pay cut when they get to the NFL.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully.
But isn't that
It's called the put it on the budget line for winning.
yeah?
Right there.
But isn't that the difficult thing that obviously Bill's going to have to navigate through? I know when you
I
coach
don't know
him-
what he's going to have to navigate. I mean, I've got plenty to navigate here.
Was your son happy with the Eagles win on Saturday?
Yeah, he was. He was excited for his first game, and yeah, he got to wear a headset, so he's official.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, the Mike Vrabel era gets underway Sunday, and so
Yep, it does. It's here.
And we wish you the best of luck. I know Wednesday night you sort of refused to answer the question about your favorite restaurant in Boston.
Well, that doesn't. I mean, there's going to be a lot of places I go to, so why would I? I mean, it's like,
I mean,
who's your favorite co-host?
Oof.
well, I mean,
Swiggy.
I like
We're
them
all
all. I
different.
kind of like them all equally.
Of all the choices that he had, of the three choices he had, it was.
I mean,
I would not pick Wiggy. I'd put it out there right now.
I heard.
That was your favorite teammate, though. Come
Well,
on.
yeah, he was fun.
I heard from some people down in the Seaport. They were like, "Wait a second, guy can't throw us a little plug out there."
Yeah, I guess a bunch of everybody's pillow talking. Yeah, that's the problem with this place. Everybody pillow
Rats.
talks.
We got rats.
Whoever gets
Just
Restaurant rats.
It's all about
Put
the
a name
calm.
on it, or I ain't
Yeah.
paying attention.
Your guys love the
I'll
North
live
End.
my life. You live yours outside of here.
It's
How
all
about that?
It's all about the freebie. I just got
No, I don't mind paying.
Nah. I do.
That's fine.
Wiki does.
Yeah, we're
He's already asked you for a jersey.
Yeah, we've already been. We're
one
always
week
been
into
in
this.
two different pay scales, even when we played. But I have to ask this
You
question.
got a parking pass for Sunday. You wouldn't even pay for it.
I can't get one here. Believe me.
You can't get a pat. We'll get you a parking.
Okay. You know what's interesting though, and
North Street entrance. We'll get you right in the back.
I was trying to come back way. Brock Bowers. I want to talk about he's Georgia Bulldog like myself, but
Oh, here we go.
no. But the
That's where the comparison
that's where it stops. That's about all we have.
Very, very good player. Very athletic.
But the matchup nightmare that he presents.
Yep. He treat him as a wide receiver. He will, play in line. He will block at great length. I think the biggest thing that he continues to gain speed as he's down the field and trying to locate and find the ball. He doesn't lose speed. I think that's, you have to treat him as a receiver. They do a lot with him. The full route tree. They'll take shots to him. So that'll be an important matchup, and also, just being able to know where he is and be able to find him and understand, what he's trying to do from the different locations that they put him in.
All right. Well, we'll let you go get
Thank
ready. Get ready for week 1. Thanks.
Appreciate
Coach.
it, guys.
All right.